Thank you, JB. It's a comfortable, breezy December day here in South Florida, and we're set for a battle between two longtime AFC East rivals, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. And as the playoff picture starts to come into focus, the situation for the Dolphins is clear. Win today and you're still alive for a spot in the postseason. Lose and it's over. A virtual playoff game scenario today for the Dolphins here in Miami. And hello, everyone. Bill McAtee along with former NFL MVP Rich Gannon. Good to have you with us here in South Florida. And Rich, the Dolphins coming off a big win last week against the New York Jets, and they come in today with a defense that is tough, physical, and one of the best in the National Football League.
You're right, Bill. Real bright spot has been the play of their defense, and under the direction of Mike Nolan, they've become a top 5 unit. Last week, they went on the road and dominated the Jets. They forced 6 sacks and 2 turnovers. The linebacking unit in particular has been outstanding. Carlos Stansby, one of the best free agent acquisitions of the offseason. He's been solid in the middle, and those 2 youngsters, Koamisi, Cameron Wake, have been bringing it off the edge. This is a very good unit.
Well, one real concern here in Miami has been the Dolphins' passing game. A lot was expected of Chad Henne this season, but there have been times when he's been inconsistent.
Yeah, he hasn't been himself lately, and that's a concern for the Dolphins. The biggest problem right now is his decision-making. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, and that's never a good thing. At times, you see him get stuck on his primary, which makes him late getting through the progression, and then he rushes his mechanics, and it affects his accuracy. But, you know, there's a lot to like about this young quarterback. He just has to fight through this adversity.
The Dolphins are playing here at home, but they've been a much better team on the road this year. In fact, they're 6-1 away from Miami and only 1-5 here in South Florida. And the Dolphins know that despite their record, the Bills are a very, very dangerous opponent. When they met in week 1, Ryan Fitzpatrick was not the quarterback, and he has been a key to this Buffalo offense.
Yeah, here's a quarterback that's really taken advantage of this opportunity, and one who's had to really work for the privilege of being under center each week. He may not blow you away with his arm strength, but he does a wonderful job anticipating getting the ball out on time. I think he's made a compelling argument based on his play so far this season that he deserves to be the quarterback in Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo knows that Miami will try to run the football today. The Bills come in ranked last in the NFL against the run. They will have their hands full trying to stop the tandem of Ronnie and Ricky.
Well, it's been a problem all season. The run defense, they're currently dead last, and you just know Miami's planning on giving them heavy doses of Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. They're not the biggest front seven, and at times they wear down late in games. Look for them to bring strong safety Dante Whitner down around the line of scrimmage to help with Ronnie and Ricky.
So let's take a look now at our Home Depot tools to victory.
Well, Fred Jackson needs another big day. He has been rock solid the last couple years. He's a tough physical runner who's also very good in the passing game. And the Dolphins, they got to find a way to get Brandon Marshall more involved in this offense. He's just too good of a player. And as I always say, in critical times, think of players and not plays.
And what about today's game points?
Well, with Lee Evans out, the 2 rookie free agents, Donald Jones and David Nelson, need to step up and play like veterans. And both coaches talked about the importance of field position in today's game. Dolphins punter Brandon Fields needs another big performance like last week, 10 punts for a 56.4-yard average.
And that is the Home Depot tools to victory. For more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. So we're just about set to go. A playoff atmosphere for the Miami Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills will be back to Sun Life Stadium after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Both the Bills and the Dolphins are coming off wins in Week 14. As you might expect, the weather is a much different story here in Miami today than it is a little farther north in Buffalo this weekend. Chan Gailey, in his first season as head coach of the Buffalo Bills, spent 2 seasons here in Miami as an offensive coordinator. Also played 3 years at quarterback for the Florida Gators back in college. And Tony Sperano knows what's at stake for his Dolphins today. He knows they need a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Buffalo won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so the Dolphins will have the football to start the game. Ryan Lindell will kick it off for the Bills. And Nolan Carroll is back deep for Miami. Breezy day here in South Florida. And we are underway here in Miami. Carroll from the 5. And a solid return out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Chad Henne leading the Miami offense. Richie's coming off a rough day last week against the Jets.
Yeah, he's struggling right now. And in visiting with him on Friday, I think he realizes this is all part of the process. He's not going to panic. Bill, Chad Henne is battle-tested. He'll fight through this slump.
Just underway here in Miami. Ronnie Brown to the 35-yard line. Leotis McKelvin made the stop. Miami offensive line, they've had to make some changes. Right tackle Vernon Carey is out, and Jake Long, the two-time Pro Bowl selection, anchors that left side. The backs and receivers, he'll try to crank up Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams today against that Bills defense that ranks last in the league against the run. 2nd and 8 for Miami. At formation, Brown hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for 3 yards. And here is Buffalo on defense up front. Bills think that Kyle Williams has had a Pro Bowl type season. At linebacker, Posluszny leads the team in tackles, and they like how the rookie Moats has played. And in the secondary, Dante Whitner can bring it at strong safety, and Leotis McKelvin starts at corner today opposite Drayton Florence. So 3rd and 5, Ricky Williams has checked in for the Dolphins. Henne steps up, checks it down to Williams. A nice move and a first down for the Dolphins. Kyle Williams made the stop.
Well, really nice job by Chad Henne. Bill working through the progressions. They run a crossing route. He works all the way back across the formation. He's going to look at initially for Kevin Curtis. He's not there. You see him look at number 2, and then all the way back to Ricky Williams, the third part of the progression there. Really nice job by Chad Henne, and it's important for him to get off to a good start.
Offset eye as Ronnie Brown is checked back into the game on first down. Henne, nice throw. Brandon Marshall, and they want to get him going early. He's into Buffalo territory, down to the 40-yard line, and they spot it at the 39. Drayton Florence made the stop.
Well, this is good to see. This is one of the more difficult throws. It's a glance route. It has to be on time, and you have to hit him on that front number. And as you and I talked yesterday, Bill, about Brandon Marshall, he's been a little lost in this offense. I think he's underutilized. I think they can be doing more things to get him involved early.
A pickup of 16 yards. 1st and 10, opening possession for the Dolphins. Henne, short drop. And again to Marshall. Came back last week after missing back-to-back games with a hamstring injury. He had 2 catches for 16 yards and a touchdown against the Jets.
Well, he's such a big target, and he's so physical with his hands at the line of scrimmage. I just think they have to move him around a little bit more. If you leave him out there stationary, it makes it so much easier for the Bills defense. They can roll coverage to him. They can jam him at the line of scrimmage. I think some short motions and some stacks and bunch releases would really help Brandon Marshall.
2nd and 5, just inside the 35-yard line. Ricky Williams, right side, upended just short of the 30-yard line by Aiken Adele, who has quietly been having a very productive season at linebacker for the Bills. Playing today against one of his former teams. He started 28 games here in Miami over the last 2 seasons.
Well, Buffalo is going to have their hands full today with these 2 running backs, and they've not been very good in terms of the run defense. I'm talking to Paul Posluszny last night. He said, we got to get a number of hats to the ball. I don't care if it's Ricky or Ronnie. Gang tackling is going to be critical.
3rd and 2. Henne will throw. Batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Alex Carrington Very good getting those hands up. Very frustrating for a quarterback. You see the top of your screen there. He's getting blocked by Jake Long, but he's not going to be able to beat a double team, so he does the next best thing, jump up and bat that ball.
And they like Carrington, the rookie out of Arkansas State, a third-round draft pick. So we'll see Dan Carpenter. Came in ranked second in the NFL with 28 field goals. Had a 60-yarder 2 weeks ago against Cleveland. This will be into the breeze from 48 yards officially. And he pushed it right. So the opening drive results in no points for the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bills will take the field when we come back. An 8-play drive comes up empty for the Miami Dolphins. The Bills take over. First possession of the game from their own 39-yard line. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun on first down. Jackson reverses his field, caught from behind. Back to the line of scrimmage. Carlos Dansby made the tackle. Ryan Fitzpatrick leading the Bills, and Richie's thrown a touchdown pass in 14 straight games.
Yeah, I'm always happy when a young player comes into a situation and has to fight and claw for every opportunity and then makes the most of it. And that's just what Ryan Fitzpatrick's done in Buffalo Bill. He has played really some good football for Chan Gailey.
He has been able to add a spark to the Bills offense as the first Bills quarterback since Drew Bledsoe 8 years ago to throw at least 20 touchdown passes. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick gets rid of it to Jackson and incomplete. Bills have had to make some changes up front. Hank Gardner is out. Eric Wood slides over to center, where he played for 4 years at Louisville. Backs at receivers. Fred Jackson has rushed for over 100 yards in 3 of the last 5 games. Stevie Johnson has had a breakthrough year. Former 7th-round draft pick at wide receiver. 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 for the Bills. Fitzpatrick to the sideline. Roosevelt, and it's ruled a catch. Naaman Roosevelt, the rookie free agent from Buffalo, who played at the University of Buffalo, and that was his first catch in the NFL.
Well, great protection gets it done. Ryan Fitzpatrick makes a good throw on the boundary. You see the free agent right there, Roosevelt, making a good catch. Nolan Carroll just a little too soft in coverage.
So the ball just into Miami territory across midfield. Fitzpatrick changing the play. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Well, here are the Dolphins on defense. They come in ranked 5th. The big men up front, Langford, Soliai, who batted the pass down at Starks. The linebacking crew, maybe one of the best in the league, with Dansby coming over from Arizona and Cameron Wake leading the NFL in sacks. And in the secondary, Rashad Jones starting today at free safety, and Vontae Davis quietly viewed as one of the best young cornerbacks in the league. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. Jackson, right side, turns the legs, and we have a flag on the play. Check the penalty. Jeff Triplett is our referee today.
Holding, 67 offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Andy Levitre, the left guard. 2nd year out of Oregon State, 2nd-round pick last year. And they'll march him back to just beyond the 40-yard line. 44th year of this rivalry between the Bills and the Dolphins, and the 90th meeting. Miami leads the overall series 53-35-1. The Dolphins have won 4 of the last 5, including the season opener this year in Buffalo, 15-10. Trying to set up the screen, and they do to Stupar, the tight end, and he is upended back at the line of scrimmage.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Buffalo in a lot of empty sets, no back, get everybody out, and you think, well, why would you do that? Well, it's double and Cameron Wake right there. You see Stupar, he's going to come off on the screen. But in talking with Chan Gelly last night, I think it makes some sense. I mean, you're not going to be able to hold up all day in protection against Misi and Wake. Why not get an empty and get rid of the ball quickly?
Well, earlier they converted a 3rd and 10, now facing 3rd and 20. Here they come on the blitz. Fitzpatrick under pressure and sacked. Fitzpatrick goes down at the 32-yard line. Koa Misi, the talented rookie out of Utah, who has now 4.5 sacks this season.
Well, one of the things they like to do, they like to move Brian Fitzpatrick in the pocket. He's got great mobility, but here you just hold it too long, and a player like Koa Misi, he's not going to give up. He's got a big-time motor. He continues to rush.
Ryan Moorman on to punt. Devon Bess is back deep for the Dolphins, standing on his own 20-yard line. High punt. Bess. Flags fly. And brought down at the 27-yard line. That was a 55-yard punt from Moorman.
Return, holding, number 24 of the receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they'll march him back. It'll be a longer field for the Miami Dolphins. No score. 7:48 left in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
The Dolphins are coming off a season low 131 total yards on offense last week, including 30 net yards passing. They beat the Jets despite earning just 6 first downs, and one of those came on a penalty. Second possession for the Dolphins. They start from their own 13-yard line. The delay to Ricky Williams. Met at the line of scrimmage. Stopped at the 16-yard line. Well, got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com. Shop has officially licensed NFL gear and get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com. Sure, that may be a unique situation. You might not be able to buy that online. 2nd and 7 for the Dolphins. Henny to Williams. Works through and stopped at the 21-yard line. And let's check in with JB in New York for an update.
Hey, Bill and Rich, Jags are trying to win the AFC South, but the coach saying not so quickly now, capping an 8-play, 82-yard drive. Manning to Austin Collie, 7-yard strike. That puts the Colts on top, 7-0, that in the first. Bill McAtee, Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, huge game in the AFC South. Jacksonville can wrap up the division with a win, coming in 8-5 with a 1-game lead over Peyton and the Colts on 3rd down for the Dolphins. And that second effort maybe was enough. It will depend on the spot. It looks like he's about a yard short. Ronnie Brown with the carry.
Well, Ronnie Brown had no chance there, Bill. Penetration in the running game. I mean, they were in the backfield as Ronnie was receiving the ball from Chad Henne. You see Kelsey, he's going to come off the edge. They don't hardly block him. He splits the fullback, Lou Polite, and Ronnie's doing everything he can to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Bills could end up with pretty good field position, but Brandon Fields coming off an absolutely tremendous day last week against the Jets. He averaged 56.5 yards a punt on 10 kicks. Good high punt. Fair catch called for and made at the 34-yard line by Spiller. Second possession of the game upcoming for the Buffalo Bills when we return after the 43-yard punt. Back in Miami, let's take a look again at MVP's most valuable points.
Well, if the Bills want to be a good defense, they have to be able to stop the run. It's been a thorn in their side all season long. The key, as always, will be to get a lot of hats to the ball against Ricky and Ronnie. And I believe it's important for the quarterback to get off to a good start, particularly one that's struggled the last few weeks. I think it's for Chad Henne, high completion throws early to get him in rhythm.
Buffalo came in ranked 25th in the league in passing, averaging 198 yards a game. But under Ryan Fitzpatrick, they're up to almost 230 yards a game. And I know, Rich, you've been impressed with Fitzpatrick. Young man from Harvard. From their own 34-yard line. Fitzpatrick to the sideline. That's caught by Stevie Johnson. And a first down for the Bills.
I've been really impressed with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And, you know, you look at the way the ball comes out. He's very deliberate. I mean, you can see right as the receivers are coming out of the breaks, the ball's already on him. I mean, Steve Johnson doesn't even have a chance to really get his head around. But that's the thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick. And we talked to some of the defensive coaches in Miami. They say he's wonderful with his eyes. He doesn't telegraph throws. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball.
A little extra growth on his chin. He said he's going to shave after the season's over. His teammates have been calling him the Amish rifle. Spiller in the game. Tries to bounce it to the outside and is stopped for a loss. Koamisi with the tackle.
Well, it's been a frustrating year for C.J. Spiller, and in talking with Chan Gailey last night, the toughest part for him, you know, he's so fast, he's so quick, and in college he would just find one crease and hit it, or he'd just run around people on the edge. He's finding out in the National Football League it's not as easy. Players like Koamisi have great speed on the edges.
2nd and 12 after the loss of 2. We enjoyed our visit with C.J. Spiller last night. But he's got to learn how to be patient. Spiller just across the 45-yard line.
You know, I thought it was interesting in talking to C.J. last night, Bill, when he mentioned the toughest part for him was listening to the play call, because at Clemson, you know, they signaled the plays in from the sidelines to everybody in the offense. I said, well, did the quarterback call? He said, no, we all knew and understood the signals. So he said the toughest part was just listening. It doesn't hit your brain the same way. So he's had to process the information a little bit differently here his first season in Buffalo.
Well, he has been mentored by Fred Jackson, who's been very generous with his time and trying to teach the young man the nuances of the game at this level. 3rd and long for Fitzpatrick. On the move. And he'll be short of the first down, but into Miami territory. Stopped at the 46-yard line by Tony McDaniel.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a very capable runner. And, you know, he's been very good at pulling the ball down in critical situations and picking up first downs, but this is just too long. You see the back chipping on Cameron Wake. We'll see that a lot today, but tough to pick up those 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 12s with your legs.
So again, we'll see Brian Moorman in his 10th season as the Bills punter. Came in with a 43.5-yard career average, standing back at his own 40-yard line. High end-over-end punt to Bess. Makes the fair catch at about the 19-yard line. A short punt, 26 yards. 2:57 left to go in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Radio Shack. The Shack makes you a holiday hero. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
We're back. Miami has totaled just 10 points in their last 2 home games against Chicago and Cleveland. Overall, the Dolphins are 31st in the NFL, averaging just over 17 points a game. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Henne caught by Devon Bess. And that will be a first down for the Dolphins. Terrence McGee, the left cornerback, made the tackle.
Bill, you and I were just talking about what Miami has to do offensively in this game. I think there's a couple things. First and foremost, they have to be able to run the ball against the league's worst run defense. And then the second thing is Chad Henne. You got to find a way to get this guy comfortable and off to a good start. We mentioned high completion percentage throws, but I want to make sure that he feels good about the plan early.
High formation on first down. Henny with time finally checks it down to Ronnie Brown, who picks up a couple. Lusney and Aiken-Adell combined to make the stop. Well, after beating the Jets last week, Dolphins are trying to win back-to-back games for the first time since week 2. They've been in this odd win-lose rhythm for most of the season. They'll, of course, need to break that today. Otherwise, they're eliminated from the postseason.
I think that's the most frustrating thing for Tony Sperano, just the inconsistency. And really, I think it stems from the offense the last month of the season. They have not been as good running the football. And, of course, Chad Henne has struggled the last couple of weeks.
2nd and 7 after the pickup of 3 on first down. Play action. Henny. Nice catch by Brandon Marshall. Came in leading Miami with 60 receptions for 709 yards and 2 touchdowns, but averaging just under 12 yards a catch.
And this is what's great about Brandon Marshall, Bill, because you don't have to be exact with your throws. Look how high that throw was from Chad Henne, and Brandon Marshall has great leaps. He can go up and get the ball over a smaller corner, but you don't have to be perfect with a guy like Brandon Marshall.
Pickup of 11 yards. Another first down for the Dolphins. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Lex Hilliard has checked in the game. Back there with Ronnie Brown. In play action. Henny going deep for Curtis, incomplete. He had a step on Drayton Florence.
They really had the wrong guy going to the post, Bill. Nothing against Kevin Curtis, but they have Brandon Marshall. He's going to work back across the formation, and then you have Curtis going deep. Why not have Curtis work across the formation in your speedster and the bigger body, Brandon Marshall? Kevin Curtis just got here this week. We talk about structural flaws. I look at that from a play caller's perspective. I think that's a mistake.
Had his best season back in 2007 when he had 77 catches for 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. We'll talk more about Kevin Curtis later. They try to set up the screen, and that's going nowhere. Ricky Williams dropped immediately by Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams, who came in, ranked 1st among defensive linemen in tackles with 65.
Bill, he has had an outstanding year in the middle of that defense, Kyle Williams. He plays with great effort and energy. He's a very intelligent player. You see him sniff out that screen. He's been excellent at the nose tackle for this 3-4 defense.
So with the loss, it'll bring up 3rd and 16 for Miami.
Sounds like pom-poms or something. Can you hear that wispiness? Good, thank you. I want to hear it.
They rush 3. Henny. Intercepted!
No, you hear.
George Wilson, the free safety, with the pick.
Bill, we talked about the decision-making, and I said that Chad Henne needs to eliminate the poor ones, particularly early in games. You're going to see the protection is good, but he's trying to fit this one into his running back. The ball actually gets tipped. But there's no place to throw it there. You look at the matchup right there. Patrick Cobbs, he's being blanketed by George Wilson.
Coming off a tough week last week against the Jets, Henny only 5 of 18 for 55 yards. He did hit Brandon Marshall for a touchdown. He was sacked 5 times. So a big turnover here early for the Buffalo Bills. 1st and 10 from the Miami 35-yard line. Jackson, good penetration by that Miami front as we have reached the end of the first quarter here in Miami. The Bills and the Dolphins, no score. Ready to start the second quarter, and Chris Kelsey may have gotten a piece of the football here, and that helped cause the interception.
Yeah, right as he's letting it go. But regardless, Bill, as I always say, you can't fall in love with the primary. Chad Henne has to be willing to move on. Can't get stuck on those backs.
2nd and 8. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun, empty backfield. Spiller trying to get him in space, and he stopped about a yard short of the first down by Kendall Langford.
Well, he is very scary in space, as you mentioned, Bill, and he's a guy that it's a very accomplished receiver, did a lot of it at Clemson, and they do a good job putting him out there in the slot or even outside. Chan Gailey said that he's getting better and better and more comfortable in our system. We just have to continue to find ways to get him the football.
He had over 7,500 all-purpose yards at Clemson, second most in NCAA history. Third and short for Buffalo. Jackson and Spiller are both in the backfield. Toss it back. Spiller trying to get to the edge. And I don't know. He's going to be short. Dolphin defense closed in a hurry. Cameron Wake and Vontae Davis.
Well, that's one of those plays where you try and fool him, and they didn't fool him. Cameron Wake does a nice job, and of course, watch this big hit by Vontae Davis. I think he's going to be a little short. Bam.
So the Bills are going to go for it on fourth down. Chan Gailey thinking, well, we're 3 and 10, why not? Offset eye. Jackson. And it will all depend on the spot.
There's a lot to like about Fred Jackson. I mean, the way he runs the ball, he pours it up in there, he runs with a sense of urgency. Not a lot of indecision when you study Fred Jackson on film.
So that moves the chains. A first down for the Buffalo Bills. The gamble pays off. Spiller back in the game. Buffalo trying to capitalize on the interception. Spiller trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he'll be stopped for a loss of a couple by Cameron Wake.
Well, this is a couple times now we've seen Buffalo trying to run the ball outside of Cameron Wake, and I just think this is a mistake. He's too good in space, he's too quick off the edge, and he's so athletic that they're going to have to run up inside as opposed to outside of Cameron Wake.
Well, he continues, Cameron Wake, to be one of the great stories in the league this season. Undrafted out of Penn State, was cut as a rookie free agent with the Giants and came in with 14 sacks, leading the National Football League after a stellar career in Canada. Fitzpatrick on 2nd and 12, bobbled, and then Nelson hauls it in, and a big gain from David Nelson, the rookie free agent out of Florida.
I always say it's easier when you catch it the first time, but this actually works out pretty good for David Nelson. I think he fools some people in the secondary thinking that it's going to be a drop or possibly a pick, and then he's able to regather and head right back upfield. Another good look at Ryan Fitzpatrick's eyes. He works through his progressions very efficiently. Much different when you watch Chad Henne. Chad Henne getting stuck on that primary receiver, taking too long.
A 20-yard pickup, first and goal for the Bills from the 6. Fitzpatrick guns it incomplete, tried to hit Steve Johnson. Vontae Davis had some pretty good coverage.
I really like the way Vontae Davis has played this year in the secondary for the Dolphins, and nice adjustment to this route. But you can just see much more confidence out of him in year 2. His breaking on the ball, he's not guessing as much, and his man-to-man coverage skills, I think, have really picked up.
He's started to be considered one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Teams just don't go after him very often. 2nd and goal for Buffalo. No score here in the 2nd. Jackson inside the 5. Fights his way down to about the 3-yard line.
You look at this defense in Miami, major improvements under Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator, really in every statistical category. Total defense, run defense, pass defense. It's amazing what Mike Nolan can do in the first year as a coordinator here in Miami. Did it last year in Denver. He's been very successful everywhere he's been.
Miami has been tough in the red zone. 9th play of the drive upcoming, 3rd and goal for the Bills. Here come the Dolphins, and whistle before the snap.
False start, 61 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Mansfield Rado, the right tackle.
Yeah, you're just going to see him right here, the end man of the line of scrimmage. What happens? He's going to react to the pressure. He sees those safeties creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Very difficult in that part of the field with the crowd noise. Just a little antsy.
So they move it back to about the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal once again for Buffalo. From the shotgun, Fitzpatrick. To the end zone. Caught! Johnson! But there's a flag on the play, so we have to check the penalty.
Pass interference. Pass interference. Offense. Number 13. 10-yard
And they
penalty.
call it on
Still third
Johnson.
down.
Pushing off.
Yeah, this one wasn't even close. When you take a look at it, the replay, he gets pretty good movement over the top. You're going to see right here, he just pushes Benny Sapp. Benny Sapp's got no chance when he gets pushed from behind by Steve Johnson. You can't extend your hands.
So that will move them back farther. They spotted at the 18-yard line of the Dolphins. And again, 3rd and goal.
Chad Henne just hoping that his defense can come up with a stop here, hold him to a field goal.
Fitzpatrick, they rush 4 to the end zone again. Touchdown, David Nelson. And we have another flag on the play in the end zone.
Bill, he had no business throwing this football, and he fits it in there. This is an incredible throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
After the touchdown, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24 in the defense. Point is good. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
They call that on Sean Smith, the cornerback. What a big-time throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, he's double covered. They got help over the top. You're going to see the linebacker there, the safety's right there. Aggressive throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Lindell, good with the extra point. 3rd touchdown reception of the season for David Nelson, the rookie out of Florida. And the Buffalo Bills are on the board first. They lead 7-0.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
After the 18-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and goal, Fitzpatrick to Nelson, the Bills lead at 7-0. Kickoff will come because of the penalty from the 45-yard line. So this will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. So they'll bring it out to the 20. And Chad Henne and company will take over when we return.
Oh yes, I like it. Screaming like never before. Baby, I like it. I like it.
10:37 left in the half. The Dolphins take over at their own 20-yard line. Ricky Williams is in the game. He gets it. Trying to get to the edge. Forced back inside and tackled at the 27-yard line by Terrence McGee. Bills are looking for their first win this season against an AFC East opponent, and their first win here in Miami since 2007. Buffalo came in today with only 4 healthy wide receivers, and they're not a glamorous bunch with a 7th-round pick and 3 undrafted rookie free agents. But Ryan Fitzpatrick said he has confidence in them. They can all play. He told us last night, can't figure out how Donald Jones and David Nelson weren't drafted. Nelson with the touchdown catch, good penetration by the Bills front, and that results in a loss. Another outstanding play by the nose tackle Kyle Williams.
Well, Kyle Williams and Paul Posluszny getting it done. Good penetration. They split The guard's pulling, and Williams does a nice job following the guard right in the backfield. And Paul Postlesny, he told us last night, he said, if we want to be a good defense, we have to be able to stop the run.
So 3rd and 8 for Miami.
Good look at George Edwards, the defensive coordinator, as a linebackers coach here the last 5 years in Miami, has great familiarity with this football team.
Brown and Williams in the game and sacked. And he goes down. He was sacked 5 times last week. And it's Arthur Moats, the rookie 6th-round pick, with the sack.
Well, they've not done a very good job with pass protection. Communication's been an issue. You're going to see the pressure come up top. Chad Henne's trying to throw right into the blitz as opposed to working away from it. You can see Moats, he's right there to make the play.
Brandon Fields standing back 2 yards deep in his own end zone. C.J. Spiller back deep for Buffalo. The Bills could come away with pretty good field position. That's a terrific punt. Spiller still on his feet. C.J. Spiller. And out of bounds. Very nearly broke it. And it was Brandon Fields, the punter, who pushed him out. Back with more from Miami after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Reese's, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. Walmart. Save money. Live better. Walmart. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness.
C.J. Spiller with a 34-yard return, giving the Bills excellent field position after the 62-yard punt. 1st and 10 for Buffalo from the Miami 42-yard line. Play action. Fitzpatrick in the seam. Nelson. And he's had a huge game. Jeremiah Bell rough with him out of bounds.
Well, they're doing a good job with some of this misdirection, faking the run and getting Ryan Fitzpatrick out on the edge, sucking up those linebackers and allowing a player like Nelson to get into that secondary and run free.
Pickup of 23 yards, and the Bills threatening once again, already leading 7-0.
Much better job this week with play distribution on 1st down. They run the ball 19 times on 1st and 10 last week. Much better today.
Again, Miami with the win, still alive for the postseason. If they lose, they're out. Jackson dives forward, picks up a couple, and coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 15. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. They spotted at the 18-yard line. 2nd and 9 for Buffalo. Miami defense being called on to rise to the occasion once again. Fitzpatrick straight back to the sideline, and that is caught by Scott Chandler, the tight end.
Well, these tight ends don't get a lot of opportunities in this offense. Talking to Chan Gailey last night, they're really in there to block. But it's good. I think the one thing that they're missing is a tight end, particularly in this part of the field. It's so important. You think about all the great offenses out there and the great quarterbacks in the passing games. They have production at the tight end position, something that's been missing here in Buffalo.
3rd and a long one for the Bills. Empty backfield. Fitzpatrick. Incomplete. Over the head of David Nelson.
But David Nelson is getting a lot of opportunities here early in this game.
That will bring on the field goal unit. Ryan Lindell has been money from inside of the 40-yard line since 2006. He's missed just 2 field goals from 40 yards or less. 81 of 83 from inside the 40-yard line. This from 29 yards. Got it. So the Buffalo Bills extend their lead. 6:34 left to go in the half. 10-0 Bills. The Bills' 10 points have resulted from short fields the last two drives. The first after the interception, and the second, the field goal after a good punt return from C.J. Spiller. Nolan Carroll from the 7-yard line. Gets it to the outside and upended across the 35 rather, to the 36-yard line. And that is where Chad Henne and company will go to work when we return. 6:26 left to go in the half. 10-0 Buffalo.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Braun Shavers. Braun, wear your face. And by Viagra.
We're back, and we want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all the game action below. Look for the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Festive atmosphere, as always, here in South Florida. Must-win situation for the Dolphins, who trail 10-0. A win, and they live to fight another week. A loss, and they're out of the hunt for the postseason. Henne will throw. Out route, nice catch by Marshall. Deep out route into Buffalo territory. Leonis McKelvin made the tackle.
Well, they've had good success with play action on first down. You're going to see Brandon Marshall, a little double move, and right at the top, a deep dig route. Chad Henne does a nice job bringing them back to the football. And that's what they have to do a little bit. You can't rely on Ricky and Ronnie every 1st and 10. I think play action has to be big in this game.
4 catches for 48 yards from Marshall. 1st and 10. Henne will throw again. Rolled away and finally got rid of it. And once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an update here in Week 15.
Hey, Bill, speaking of good success, Peyton Manning has had that with Austin Collie, their second hookup of the day. This one a 27-yard pass play, capping an 11-play, 93-yard drive. 14-3 Indy on top of Jacksonville. Bill McAtee, Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, thank you very much. And again, Jacksonville wins, and they win the division. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. They trail 10-0. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the opening half. Henne from the shotgun. Fasano with a nice pickup on first down, and that was a well-designed play. Jarius Byrd, the free safety, finally made the stop.
Well, they do a nice job. They're going to motion Anthony Fasano over, and they just throw a little screen route to the tight end. See the offensive lineman getting downfield and find creative ways to get a guy like Anthony Fasano the ball in space.
A pickup of 12 yards. Best drive by the Dolphins since the one to open the game.
And they're having some success, Bill, throwing it on first down.
Johnny Brown is the deep back. They give it to him. Little stutter step, finds an opening. And a pickup of 9. And again, let's go back to JB in New York for another update.
Hey, Bill, here's another combination that's been working well today. The Giants' Eli Manning, Mario Manningham, they hooked up on a 35-yard pass play for a score previously. This one, 33 yards, capping an 8-play, 73-yard drive. 14-3 Giants on top of the Eagles. Bill and Rich.
And there are the standings in the NFC East. You see how important that one is. The Eagles and the Giants both at 9-4. 2nd and 1 for the Dolphins after the nice pickup on first down. Ronnie Brown, first down and more inside the 20. Aiken Adele made the tackle.
And when you study the tape, this is what Ronnie Brown wants to do. He wants to press the hole and then bounce runs to the edge. And this is what you have to defend. You have to be able to set the edge. You see Chris Kelsey, he's going to get kicked out. You have to force these runs back up inside to Paul Posluszny. It's going to be a problem if you let Ronnie get on the edge all day.
Dolphins are on the move, 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 19-yard line. Brown is the motion man at the top of the screen. Henny. The comeback route to Marshall. He's got his 5th catch of the game, and we've got a flag. We might have a face mask called against Drayton Florence.
Well, you can already tell Drayton Florence has his hands full with Brandon Marshall. If I was Chad Henne, I'd keep going after Drayton Florence in these corners with Brandon Marshall. You're not going to be able to cover him one-on-one.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 29 in the defense. After this was the goal. Automatic first down.
They call it on Florence. Let's take another look.
Well, he's just trying to make the tackle. And the problem is Brandon Marshall's so big and he's so lanky that you just try and grab a part of anything just to get him on the ground. He's very difficult to tackle in the open field. He actually gets part of the helmet.
So they spot it just outside the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for the Dolphins. They trail by 10. Ricky Williams. Met at the line of scrimmage and able to power his way forward. Picked up maybe a yard. Spencer Johnson brought him down.
And you're seeing some pressures, some run pressures on early downs by this Buffalo defense. They're bringing those inside linebackers, Posluszny and Moats, to try and get some penetration in the running game.
2nd and goal. Remember, this is a Buffalo defense that came in ranked last in the league against the run. They're going with the Wildcat. Brown gets to the corner. Ronnie Brown! Touchdown, Dolphins! A 6-yard touchdown run for Ronnie Brown, and Miami is on the board.
Well, this run is designed to go up inside. They're going to pull the guard, but when it's not there, Ronnie Brown does a nice job getting out on the edge. And we talked about these linebackers for Buffalo have to do a good job forcing him back up inside. They don't get it done there.
Dan Carpenter on to make it a 3-point game. Boots it through, 2:37 left to go in the first half. Tony Sperano's fired up. Dolphins need a win today. 10-7 Buffalo. Ronnie Brown after the touchdown run. Now the Wildcat, which has not been that effective for Miami this season. Let's take a look, Rich, at Brandon Marshall blocking downfield.
Well, the more you can do. We talk about Brandon being a great receiver in the passing game, but how about unselfish and blocking on the perimeter? Look how he gets those big, long arms locked up on Drayton Florence. Florence can't get off to make the tackle.
Big day for Brandon Marshall. 5 catches, 52 yards already here in the first half.
You get the sense that Brandon Marshall's been a little frustrated. He hasn't been more productive, made more big plays in this offense. The 60 catches coming into today's game, just 2 touchdowns. They need to do a better job getting in the ball. You can't allow a defense to take away Brandon Marshall.
A virtual playoff game scenario for the Miami Dolphins as they kick it off. Spiller and Roosevelt are back deep with the win deep into the end zone, and they'll bring that out after a touchback. Well, tomorrow on CBS, get hooked on television's #1 news show, Hawaii 5-0. And congratulations to Golden Globe nominee Scott Kahn. Don't miss Hawaii 5-0 tomorrow, only on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, these are the situations that you work on in mini camp and training camp and all through the regular season. 2-minute drills. 2:37 with 3 timeouts left. Plenty of time for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
From the 20, 1st and 10. He's got 2:37 to work with. Dolphins showing blitz. They keep it on the ground on 1st down. Jackson, and a flag on the play after a pickup of 1.
Well, you always want to start a 2-minute drive with a positive play. Last thing you want to do is have a holding penalty.
Holding, offense number 70. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Now this really changes things. Now Miami's thinking about getting the ball back. You got a 1st and 20. Think about getting a 3 and out, using some of those timeouts, and getting your offense back on the field with an opportunity before the half.
March it back inside the 10. Nose of the football touching the 10-yard line. So 1st and 20 for Buffalo. They spread them out. 5 receivers set. Dolphins rush 4. Out route to Johnson, trying to get out of bounds, and does. So we've reached the 2-minute warning. Our score: Buffalo 10, Miami 7. Play under review. They're checking whether it was a backward lateral, and the ball was not sent forward. Benny Sapp tried to get it to Vontae Davis, and it looks pretty clear from the replay.
Yeah, I think that the problem here is Vontae Davis is asking for the football. Benny Sapp would have been better off just running. He may have scored. Vontae, you can see him asking for it right here. Give me the ball. Vontae would have been better off getting in front of Benny Sapp and getting a block on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think clearly that is a lateral. Doesn't look to me like it's a forward lateral. It looks like it's going backwards.
It was an eventful play for Benny Sapp. He had the pick, bad pitch, but did recover the fumble.
There's a great example of what Bill, you and I are just talking about. Don't let someone else's mistake become your mistake. Just because he's asking for it doesn't mean you have to lateral to him. That's why those guys play defense.
Well, the call on the field is that it was it was legal. It was a lateral, and the Dolphins ultimately recovered it.
Well, regardless, Miami's going to have great field position with 3 timeouts left in 33 seconds, an opportunity to advance the football and get some points here before the half.
Another look.
I think he's light. I mean, I think it looks like it's certainly going in the right direction, backwards.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Jeff Triplett with our concise explanation. So 1st and 10 for Miami. Turnover by the Bills and almost a miscue right back from the Dolphins. So how aggressive are you here, Rich, with 33 seconds remaining?
I think you're very aggressive. You got to take some shots. You got to move the ball downfield. You got a good field goal kicker that's got very good range. Got to pick up another 1st down anyway.
He had a 60-yard field goal 2 weeks ago against Cleveland. Henne, backfield, guns it to Kevin Curtis. Curtis is into Buffalo territory. Leotis McKelvin made the stop. Well, thought the fantasy season was over. It's not. Play NFL.com playoff challenge today. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy or search NFL Playoff Challenge. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's done a good job protecting the football. He came in with impressive numbers, over 2,500 yards passing, 21 touchdowns, and that was his 12th interception of the season. He came in second on the Bills in rushing with 236 yards. 27 seconds remaining for Chad Henne and the Dolphins. 2nd and 4. Fasano's the motion man. Henne, plenty of time. That was caught by Best, who was dropped immediately. It's going to be a 1st down for Miami. It'll move the chains. Ball will be spotted at the Buffalo 41-yard line. 1 timeout remaining now for the Dolphins. Again, that's the wild card situation in the AFC, and couldn't be more clear for the Dolphins. If they win, they're still alive next week. If they lose, their hunt for the postseason is over.
Really an unpredictable season, Bill, in the NFL. I mean, entering this week, there are still 23 teams in contention for a trip to the Super Bowl in Dallas. A lot of parity in the National Football League.
1st and 10, 20 seconds left. Henny, here they come in the blitz, and he's sacked. Arthur Moats was in the backfield.
Well, Dante Whitner really gets it started, Bill. And this is an example of not even knowing and understanding the protection scheme. But Chad Henne, I don't think he ever feels the safety coming off the edge. They're one short. They can't block them all. This ball's got to come out. And as I studied this team on film this week, that was a very disturbing trend. The protection and the communication, not good. They have too many free blitzers running after the quarterback, and it's not all on the offensive line. The running backs are accountable, and Chad Henne blew a couple assignments last week. You can't take sacks in this part of the field.
Dante Whitner was in the Miami backfield in a hurry. So the Dolphins are out of timeouts, 2nd and 14. And now the Bills will take a timeout.
Buffalo, their first charge timeout. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Well, in week 13, 2 weeks ago against Cleveland, Dan Carpenter kicked an NFL season-long and career-high 60-yard field goal, so he got some range. It's just the 8th field goal of 60 yards or more in NFL history.
Well, he does have a great leg, Bill, but I go back to the previous play, and that bothers me a little bit. You know, not understanding situational football. You can't take a sack in a 2-minute situation. You know, and that's just not good. Not a very good job by Chad Henne understanding the situation.
Here it would be a field goal try of 63 yards, but with the win. Henne, incomplete. Best, the intended receiver.
Well, here's the problem. You have no timeouts left, and you're trying to pick up yards, but you have to attack the boundary. Any completed ball in the field of play, it's going to be into the half. They don't have enough time to rush the field goal unit along. So if you're Buffalo defending the field, you got to make sure that you defend the sidelines. Keep these receivers inside.
8 seconds remaining from the Buffalo 45-yard line. Henne, they go short. Best out of bounds. So that gets it forward to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, they don't pick up much there. It'll be about a 60, 61-yard field goal.
Carpenter with the strong leg came in, ranked 2nd in the NFL with 28 field goals, and as we mentioned already, the 5th longest field goal in NFL history 2 weeks ago, a 60-yarder against the Browns. This will be from 61 yards. With the win.
Oh, he's gonna get it.
Short, well short. Florence brings it out and got to stay out of the end zone. Finally falls down. And that was dangerous for a second. So that is the end of the first half. With the score 10-7 Buffalo. Back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. Back in Miami, 10-7 Buffalo, a virtual playoff game for the Miami Dolphins trying to stay alive for the postseason. Bill McAtee along with Rich Gannon. The Dolphins down by 3. What do they have to do to get that offense going? They've showed spurts at times in the first half, mostly revolving around Brandon Marshall.
Bill, where are the big plays in the offense? You know, the explosive runs, the big plays in the passing game, we don't see them. It's hard to go 80 plays in this business, 10 to 12 plays at a time. It's very difficult, and that's the problem right now. The other thing is third down continues to be an issue for this offense. Just 1 of 6. They need to be more efficient on third down.
All right, let's take a look now at our Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola. And it comes from the Buffalo Bills. Ryan Fitzpatrick to David Nelson for the Bills' lone touchdown in the first half. And let's take a look at the numbers from the first two quarters. Brandon Marshall, 5 catches, 52 yards for Miami, but not a lot of offense on the Dolphins side of the ledger.
Well, you don't see a ton of production in the running game. And the other thing that really bothers you is the third down. Just 1 of 6 has been a problem here the last 3 weeks, and the turnover really hurt Chad Henne in this offense early. They have to be able to put some plays together, some drives together, and get him feeling good again about this offense and about his play.
Ryan Fitzpatrick standing on the sidelines. He'll get a turn first. Spiller, 5 yards deep in the end zone, thought about it, but takes a knee. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and that is where the Buffalo Bills will start 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick, 14 of 23 for 142 yards and a touchdown last week against Cleveland. Took over as the starter in week 3 against New England. As we take a look at Buffalo's first half possessions, right in the middle there, a touchdown and a field goal, then the pass that was intercepted late at the end of the second quarter. So 1st and 10, offset I for the Bills. They lead it 10-7. Sun is out here in Miami. Give it to Jackson. Makes his way for a couple and some extracurricular activity after the whistle.
Well, I think Buffalo did a really nice job. You could look at Demetrius Bell. The protection plan was outstanding coming in. You know, we haven't really heard much out of Cameron Wake here in the first half. And I thought, you know, you talk about the passing game, it always starts with protection. They've had a good plan. Both tackles have played well, and they've been able to help the tackles with these backs chipping as they release.
2nd and 9. Jackson is the deep back. Jonathan Stupar was the motion man. Play action. Fitzpatrick, lots of time. Intercepted! And now they say he didn't have possession when he went out of bounds. Ball was bobbled. So the Bills will keep it. That was Sean Smith, who had a few opportunities at interceptions last week.
Well, that's not an easy one. He actually has it, and then he loses it right before he comes out. You know, this secondary has got their hands on a number of balls last week. Sean Smith in particular, only to come up empty. And this is an offense, their defense that doesn't generate a ton of takeaways. Just 16 on the season. They need to be better in this area. But clearly, Sean Smith has had some opportunities he's not been able to convert.
And that could have been a big turnover for the Dolphins. 3rd and 9. Dolphins showing blitz, and here they come. Fitzpatrick incomplete. Jones was his intended receiver, and the Bills are going to have to punt. This has not been positive for the Dolphins. Dropped interceptions, 30 on the season for Miami.
And as I talked about, Bill, they're in position, and you can't bring them in. And I think one of the guys in particular that's really jumped out is Sean Smith. He's got to spend extra time at practice with that jugs machine catching some balls.
That was the first 3 and out for Buffalo. Mormon barely gets it away. Short punt and out of bounds. Pretty good field position for Miami for their opening possession of the second half. 10-7 Buffalo here in week 15. Chad Pennington on the sideline. He's on IR, but still a presence for the Miami Dolphins, Rich.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job. You know, here's a guy that is injury reserve with shoulder surgery. He still comes to work every day. He meets with Chad Henne. He's been a great resource in the building.
Miami starting in Buffalo territory as the Bills come on the blitz, set a sack and a flag on the other side of the field. Jarius Byrd on the safety blitz. Let's check the penalty.
Chad Henne's going to have to figure out when they bring safeties, the ball's got to come out. You don't have that time, that luxury to take 2 or 3 hitches.
Illegal formation offense. Number 76 was on the end of the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Well, you're going to see Jarius Byrd. He's just coming off the edge. Ricky Williams is going to get walked back, but you know, when you see pressure, you know that the ball's got to come out. seems like there's so much indecision right now in the footwork of Chad Henne.
Henne sacked 5 times a week ago against the Jets. Sano in motion. Run the reverse to Curtis. And he has been a remarkable story. 32 years old, a former star with the Rams and the Eagles. 12 weeks ago, he underwent surgery to treat testicular cancer. Just 6 weeks later, he was back home in Salt Lake City working out. Then a short time after that, tried out for the Giants, the Lions, and the Seahawks before signing here in Miami. He's done a good job picking up the offense. And Tony Sperano told us he's a smart receiver and that he admires the fact that it's week 15 and he's out there trying to help the Dolphins get to the postseason instead of coming back gradually and just waiting for next year. 3rd and 7 for Miami. Henne. Incomplete. It was at the feet of Devon Best, who couldn't bring it in.
Well, you know what's amazing is through the first 12 weeks of the season, this Dolphins offense was very good on 3rd down. In fact, a top 5. But the last couple of weeks, they have really struggled. And not only that, it's been 5 and less. Manageable numbers on 3rd down. 7 of 29 coming into today's game over the last 2 weeks. Just 24%. You look at what they've done so far today, just 1 of 7. They have to be better on 3rd down.
So the Dolphins unable to take advantage of good field position. Both teams going 3 and out to start the second half. Fair catch by Spiller. He makes it at the 14-yard line. Fitzpatrick and his group back to work after a 32-yard punt. Last week in the win over the Jets. 3rd and 3. Dolphins showing blitz, and here they come. Fitzpatrick into coverage and caught by Roosevelt. That was another gutsy throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I can't believe some of these throws that Ryan Fitzpatrick is getting away with. I mean, he sticks the ball into double coverage. You're going to see a corner is in position, a safety right there, and he still finds a way to get it done.
24 yards on the play, and Chan Gailey told us last night, he said Ryan Fitzpatrick is smart, he's athletic, and has just enough gunslinger in him to pull it off.
And he's courageous. I mean, he's taken some unnecessary risk, but these receivers are making great plays on the ball.
Roosevelt with 2 receptions now, 35 yards, his first 2 catches in the NFL. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. They keep it on the ground. Jackson stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Philip Merling made the tackle. Let's check in once again with JB in New York for an update.
Bill and Rich, career day for Donald Brown of the Colts. Take a look here on 2nd and 15, a handoff. He takes it 43 yards to pay dirt, 10 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. First 100-yard game of his career. Colts up 21-10. Back to Bill and Rich.
Colts trying to stay alive. Jacksonville trying to wrap up the division. They can do that with a win today against Indy. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. They lead it by 3. Again, the delay to Jackson. A nice pickup. Powers his way into Miami territory. Across midfield, down close to the 48-yard line. Tony McDaniel, who rotates in a defensive end in his 5th year out of Tennessee, made the tackle.
You know, Fred Jackson is one of those backs, you know, you watch him early in games to run for 3 or run for 4, and eventually the big ones break out in the second half. But Chan Gailey is a very good play caller. He is patient with the running game. He'll keep giving Fred Jackson opportunities.
3rd and a long 3 for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. Delayed blitz, flag on the play. That's caught for an apparent first down to Stevie Johnson. Well, let's check the penalty. Coming in, 48 of Stevie Johnson's 66 catches have been for first downs.
Offside. Defense, number 28. Lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined, results in a first down.
And another first down catch for Johnson.
Well, I've really been impressed, Bill, with the way Ryan Fitzpatrick has played, not only today, but throughout the course of the season. Really impressed with his arm strength. I mean, I think he can make all the throws. He's aggressive. He's not afraid to stick it into tight holes and give these receivers a chance.
1st and 10 for Buffalo from the Miami 42-yard line. C.J. Spiller has checked in. Dolphins showing blitz. Play action. Fitzpatrick in trouble and down. Tony McDaniel with the sack.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. McDaniel, Cameron Wake, they all get there. And this Miami defense, they do a great job collapsing the pocket. They get the good speed off the edges and then pressure and push up inside. It's a good example right there of Tony McDaniel being very fortunate, being in the right place at the right time. This offensive line very concerned about the edges with Misi and Wake.
Second sack of the game for the Dolphins. So 2nd and 14 after the loss of 4. Spiller stays in the game. Short drop, the slant to Johnson. That's caught, still on his feet. And he has a first down. Inside the 30, down close to the 27-yard line, goes Stevie Johnson. Chris Clemens, the free safety, finally brought him down.
Very simple route, a little slant route by Stevie Johnson. Boy, he just fools Vontae Davis, and then of course Vontae can't make the tackle. Stevie Johnson very strong up top, and not an easy guy to bring down either.
That was good for 18 yards, and with Lee Evans lost for the season, Johnson is playing as the Bills' #1 receiver today. He's been Buffalo's most productive wideout all season with 66 catches for 874 yards. Spiller, nice move inside by C.J. Spiller, and another first down for Buffalo.
Well, we're seeing too many missed tackles right now from this Miami secondary, and that's one of the things that Mike Nolan told us the other day. He said we play our best games when our secondary tackles well. And right now you see a missed tackle right here. I mean, you can't let a guy like C.J. Spiller get extra yards after contact, but this secondary has missed way too many tackles.
Another 12 yards for the Bills, and this has been a very impressive drive. They lead at 10-7. Halfway through the 3rd. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. Spiller stays in the game. And they give it to C.J. Spiller, reverses his field. And those are the kinds of plays he was able to make at Clemson, but they're much tougher to come by in the National Football League. Randy Starks made the stop.
And you just get the sense when we sit down with C.J. last night that he realizes it's a process. And he needs to be more patient as he approaches the run game. And I think that, you know, he's so used to running by everyone and running away from people in college. You're just not going to be able to do that at this level.
A lot of people were surprised that the Bills picked Spiller because they had Fred Jackson, and Marshawn Lynch expected him to be the playmaker, and he's had a pretty steep learning curve this season. 11th play of the drive upcoming. 2nd down for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick to the end zone. Touchdown, Stevie Johnson. And another terrific throw by Fitzpatrick.
Well, the Miami secondary has got to do a better job playing the ball once it's in the air. This is a great throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick, but you're going to see Sean Smith. He's in a position to make a play here. He just can't get his hands on the ball and get it out of Stevie Smith. But I like the fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick has an aggressive mindset. He's willing to take some chances and give these receivers.
Extra point is good. The 10th touchdown catch of the season for Stevie Johnson. 15 yards from Ryan Fitzpatrick.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sony. This season, give the best. Visit Sony.com/3D promos for great offers. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Back at Sun Life Stadium, the Dolphins down by 10, take over at their own 18-yard line. 6:08 left to go in the 3rd. Von Bess in motion. Lonnie Brown going to the backfield. Henny on the slant to Marshall. And he falls forward to at about the 24-yard line. And let's take another look at that man right there, Stevie Johnson, because there's a lot more than just getting into the end zone. You got to make it count at the end, and this is that's how you used to do it, right, Rich?
That's how I still do it, brother. You know,
There's something so wrong about that. 2nd and 4 from the 24-yard line. Offset eye. Henny to the sideline. Devon Bess with the catch. And that will be a Miami first down.
A terrific throw by Chad Henne. And nice job getting it out early. Little back shoulder throw to Devon Bess.
Spotted at the 34-yard line. We spoke with Devon, and last night he talked about the second chance he got in college at Hawaii and how grateful he was to June Jones, the former head coach of the Chargers, who was at Hawaii when Devon got into trouble as a senior in high school, lost his scholarship at Oregon State. He said that going to Hawaii, he got away from a lot of bad influences. He learned the pro game under June and had a big advantage when he got into the NFL. Little trickery, and to the sideline, it's caught. Marshall finally brought down just short of midfield. Paul Posluszny made the tackle.
Well, the action really gets it done here. They're going to hand the ball to Ricky. He flips it back, and then Chad Henne's got plenty of time. He's going to find Brandon Marshall on a little corner route again against Florence. That is a matchup that he is winning, and that's one that the Dolphins need to continue to exploit.
Brandon Marshall hobbled on the sideline after the 14-yard pickup. 7 catches, 72 yards. They toss it back to Ronnie Brown. Spun down at the 49-yard line by Jarius Byrd. There's Brandon Marshall once again. Let's see if we can pick up the injury.
Well, he's going to come off under control, knowing that he's trying to sell the run action and just runs that little corner route. You know, Billy had that hamstring injury a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he retweaks it or what, but you can't afford to lose Brandon Marshall, who has played very well so far here today.
This is the kind of game that the Dolphins were counting on consistently when they brought him here in the offseason. 2nd and 9. Henne. Bess. Nice pickup. Brought down by Reggie Corner.
Bill, you were mentioning Devon Bess last, in our conversation with him on Friday, and one of the guys that he said he grew up watching and admiring in Oakland was Tim Brown, a guy that I played with, and he said one of the things that he catches the ball so well with his hands. That was a great example right there of Bess catching the ball with his hands.
Brandon Marshall went back into the game on the previous play, and by the way, you're being modest. Another player that he said he admired those days growing up in Oakland was Rich Gannon. Man who got the football to Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. Henne. And that was a bad throw behind Patrick Cobbs. It was almost picked off by Drayton Florence.
Well, this is the thing that bothers you, the accuracy. He's missing too many throws he should make, and this is a simple little out route. Chad Henne throws it behind the receiver.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass.
You have to hit those plays. I mean, you don't get that many opportunities in a game. You can't miss them when they're that wide open.
Just under 3 minutes left in the third. 17-7 Buffalo. Again, Miami in a must-win situation to stay alive for a spot in the postseason. Henne, here they come on the blitz. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. That's caught by Fasano and out of bounds. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, a discovery about memory. People who have a remarkable ability to remember every day of their lives. What could it mean for the rest of us? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes, only on CBS, America's #1 network. So 3rd and long upcoming for the Dolphins. 3rd and 8. Ball spotted just outside of the 35-yard line. They converted just 1 3rd down today, 1 of 7. Henne batted down, incomplete. Brian Scott, the nickelback, got a piece of the football. The Dolphins went with a max protection, but it didn't help.
Well, they're going to continue to bring people off the edge, as you see Brian Scott right there, because they're not handling it. They're not doing a good enough job. We saw Ricky Williams get pushed back. Now we're seeing Ronnie Brown get walked back into the quarterback.
Dan Carpenter on to try another long field goal. This one 54 yards. And no good. To the left. So 2 long tries and no points for the Miami Dolphins. 1:58 left to go in the third. It's still a 10-point Buffalo lead. Field goal try, 53 yards officially, but missed by Carpenter, so the Bills will take over 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. 1:58 left to go in the third. 17-7 Buffalo. A couple of touchdown passes by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Play action. Rolling. He'll take off and out of bounds. Just across the 45-yard line. Wednesday on Showtime. JB, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp, and Phil Simms come your way on cable's longest running show. Multi-award winning Inside the NFL every Wednesday, only on Showtime. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 carries, 19 yards, 14 of 21, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Jackson is the deep back. Pick up the blitz. That's caught by Stevie Johnson. Johnson brought down short of the 45-yard line into Miami territory by Jeremiah Bell.
Rivante Davis has his hands full right now with Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson is running some really good routes. He's doing a good job once he's at the top of his stem coming back to the football.
Came in with the most catches by a Buffalo receiver in 4 years. Having an outstanding season. 7th round draft pick out of Kentucky. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Spiller fighting for extra yards down to the 41-yard line. The Bills got off to an 0-8 start, but they have been a much more competitive team since the bye week. They came back after that, played the Ravens tough on the road, losing in overtime 37-34. They came in today having won 3 of their last 5 and averaging more than 325 yards a game over these last 5.
Yeah, and they didn't panic and change. They stayed consistent. They stayed with the plan that Chan Gailey had installed. You know, it's never easy changing things up. And he tried to come in and change the personality and makeup of this football team. I think he's done an outstanding job.
So that's the end of the third quarter with our score 17-7. Buffalo will return to Miami after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Buffalo Bills have it in Miami territory as we start the final quarter. 2nd down for Buffalo, 2nd and 5. Spiller met in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Benny Sapp made the stop. All in all, a fairly flat performance today, all things considered, by the Miami Dolphins. This is a virtual playoff game for Miami. Win and they stay alive. Race for the postseason, a loss and they're out.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, Bill. You and I were just talking. I mean, they seem flat really on both sides of the ball. And with so much at stake, I just thought we'd see a better performance out of the Dolphins here today.
3rd and 8, down by 10. They need to make a stop here. Fitzpatrick will go from the shotgun. Roosevelt was the motion man. Up top, going deep for Jones, incomplete. He was well covered by Nolan Carroll running deep, so the Bills will have to punt.
Well, they've done a nice job handling Cameron Wake off the edge. Really nice job there. Brado's been outstanding.
Cameron Wake, who came in leading the NFL in sacks with 14. Ryan Moreland on to punt again. Devon Bess back deep, standing at his own 10-yard line. Fair catch, called for and made at the 23 by Bess, and that is where the Dolphins will take over after a 20-yard punt.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
And from above, the MetLife blimp providing today's aerial coverage here in Miami. The blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. The Miami Dolphins have just about a quarter to keep their hopes for the postseason alive. First and 10, Ricky Williams fights his way out to the 27-yard line. Pusluzny made the tackle. Dolphins in the last 11 quarters have scored just 27 points. They're down by 10 with just under 14 minutes remaining here.
Bill, you mentioned this offense running out of opportunities. I think Chad Henne may be running out of opportunities. I mean, he didn't get something going here this drive. We could see Tyler Thigpen on the next series.
2nd and 5. Ricky Williams stays in the game. And a whistle and a flag before the snap.
That's on Devon Bess at the top of the screen.
Both start. 15 to the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So they're marching back 5.
That's unusual. This has been a disciplined team. I mean, one of the least penalized teams in the league. That's really something that we typically see with Tony Sperano. And again, mistakes today, the penalties, the turnover, poor decisions. Hard to win in this league when you do that.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, the 23. 2nd and 10. Henne finally gets rid of it, checking it down. That was a nice catch by Bess. And once again, let's get you to JB in New York with an update here in Week 15.
Bill and Rich, finally, the Eagles with a touchdown on the scoreboard, trailing 24-3. Michael Vick hooking up here with Jeremy Macklin. That came after a Mario Manningham fumble. It is now 24-10. Giants start of the 4th quarter. Back to Bill and Rich.
All right, JB, thank you. That Giant defense has played better and better as the season's gone on. 3rd and 3 for Miami. Need to get something going, running out of time. Henne, rid of it quickly. Bess still on his feet. Nice yards after the catch from Devon Bess. Finally brought down by Leotis McKelvin.
Well, if you're Buffalo defensively, you have to find number 15 on 3rd down. He's a very good option runner. You see right there, Reggie Corner, he can't bring him down. He leads the AFC with 26 receptions on 3rd down.
That was good for 15 yards and a big catch from Bess. 1st and 10 from the Miami 45-yard line. It was the first 3rd down conversion since the opening drive. Henne off the play action. Again, checking it down. Ricky Williams is at close to midfield. And again, let's go to JB in New York for an update.
Hey, fellas, Jacksonville making it a 1-touchdown game here. Play action, David Garrard hooking up with Mike Sims-Walker, a 6-yard strike, capping a 7-play, 77-yard drive, 24-17. Just about at the end of the 3rd. Back to Bill and Rich.
And that graphic tells the story. Jacksonville can clinch the AFC South with a win today over the Colts. Spotted just into Buffalo territory. 2nd and 4 for Miami. And that's caught. Saka Polite, the fullback. And he has another 1st down for Miami. Crowd chanting, Lou.
Well, he's a pretty versatile player in this system. He's a good blocking back, and he can also run routes. Very unusual for a fullback. Gives him that flexibility in this system.
He's 6th year out of Pittsburgh. So good looking drive at the right time for the Dolphins. 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 44. Henne with time. Ricky Williams. Scary sight. Ricky Williams in the open field. And he's out of bounds just short of the 20.
Well, as a young quarterback in this league, you learn you never go broke taking a profit. If it's not there, find those backs underneath, and that's a mismatch. Ricky Williams on Paul Posluszny. Just find a way to get Ricky, Ronnie, these backs in the balls on checkdowns, and they're liable to make somebody miss and pick up big yards.
24 yards on the play. On this drive, he's been perfect. 5 of 5, 57 yards. First and 10 from the 21 for Miami. Henny again checking it down. Usaka Polite with another catch.
Well, now it seems like Chad Henne is getting in a little bit of a rhythm now. He's getting back away from center. His footwork looks better. He's more deliberate. The ball's coming out. He's working through those progressions quicker. I think a lot of it's just confidence with him, Bill.
Just in the nick of time for the Dolphins. Down 17-7. 9 minutes left to play. 2nd and 9. And again, a whistle before the snap and a flag.
False start. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's the left tackle, Jake Long. So they'll move it back just beyond the 25-yard line.
Boy, that was really close. I just thought that was good anticipation by Jake Long.
Trying to get a little bit of an edge on Arthur Moats, the outside linebacker. So 2nd and 14 for the Dolphins. Play action. With time. Gets rid of it. Caught. Patrick Cobbs with a nice catch. Going to be about a yard short of a first down.
Well, he's trying to get up to the line of scrimmage because he's afraid they might challenge this.
They spotted at the 12-yard line.
Let's see if he makes that catch or not. Not so sure.
Chan Gailey's thinking about it. It's tough to tell because of the darkness. He's got the flag there in his right hand.
Well, that was not a very good use of time.
Oh, goodness. Now they're going to give him a lot of time to think about it. Timeout called by the Dolphins. 8:16 left to play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new 2011 Ford F-150, built Ford tough. Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, with 5 times the selection of ordinary jewelry stores. And by Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
No challenge from Chan Gailey and the Buffalo Bills. 3rd and 1 for Miami. Polite. It's going to be awfully close.
Measure, it looks like. You know, you go back to the previous play, Bill, that pass from Henne to Patrick Cobbs, and I just thought it was a catch first and foremost, but then after the catch, you know, they do a great job hustling, getting up to the line of scrimmage, and then they sit there and they dilly-dally, and then they waste the timeout. They have no idea what they were doing.
Miami with 2 timeouts remaining. That was their first, and they have a first down.
Put the play clock back to 27 seconds.
I think what happened is they got up to the line of scrimmage trying to get something run, and then they realized that they're in a 3rd and 2. Probably going to see a wildcat here. They see Henne come out.
So first down for the Dolphins as they go with the wildcat. Ronnie Brown will get the snap. Brown Very patient, trying to let his blocking set up, but good job on defense by the Bills, led by Kyle Williams.
Boy, I thought there was more there if he just would have been a little bit more patient on the outside and followed the fullback. And in talking to the offensive coordinator here in Miami, Dan Henning, one of the things that they talked about is the ability for this offensive line, the running backs, the receivers, to get up on the second level. Not done a good job getting those linebackers blocked in the run game.
2nd and 8, they can get a first down if they get it just inside the 1. White and Williams in the backfield. Henny fires it. Touchdown! Brandon Marshall.
There's a smile.
9 yards from Henny to Marshall. And the Dolphins are right back in it.
And he is so difficult to cover. He's just going to come off the ball. He's got a little option route. Leonis McKelvin tries to jump it, but Brandon Marshall has that big wingspan. And even when you feel like you have him covered, he can extend, hit those hands and those arms and catch the ball away from his body.
Carpenter on to try the extra point. Right down the middle. And it is a 3-point game. 17-14 Buffalo. 7:02 left to play. An 11-play scoring drive for the Dolphins covers 77 yards. And Chad Henne, a perfect 8 of 8 for 79 yards. And the discrepancy of 2 yards is because of a penalty. Spiller from the 7. Wrapped up just across the 20-yard line. Well, on December 31st on CBS Sports, it's a college doubleheader. At noon Eastern, it's the Battle of the Bluegrass State as Terrence Jones and the Kentucky Wildcats tangle with Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals. And then at 2 o'clock Eastern, CBS Sports goes bowling in El Paso, Texas with a Hyundai Sun Bowl. 2 big-time programs go at it. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on the Miami Hurricane. It's the Hyundai Sun Bowl from El Paso, December 31st, only on CBS. Just under 7 minutes to play. Crowd on their feet, showing some life here in Miami. From the 21-yard line, showing blitz, they keep it on the ground. Jackson has been pretty bottled up today. Falls forward close to the 25. Jeremiah Bell made the stop, the strong safety. Pro Bowl safety a year ago, came in leading the secondary with 83 tackles and 2.5 sacks.
Well, they have very active safeties here. You mentioned Jeremiah Bell. Both of them want to be around the action, down around the line of scrimmage. They've done a very good job in run support.
Jackson, 12 carries for 34 yards. C.J. Spiller has checked in. He's the motion man. Empty backfield now for the Bills. Fitzpatrick with the 3-step drop to Spiller, who's loose. C.J. Spiller finally wrapped up and brought down close to the 40-yard line by Chris Clemens.
Talked about missed tackles with this defense, and here again is a problem for Miami. Just a little hitch route out to C.J. Spiller, very difficult to tackle in the open field, but you got to find a way to get him to the ground. Tim Dobbins cannot miss that tackle.
That was good for 14 yards and a first down. Clock running, just over 5.5 minutes left. From the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Spiller bottled up and brought down at the 41-yard line.
You know, the one thing that really stood out to me last night as we visited with Ryan Fitzpatrick, he talked about Chan Gailey and how Chan is in every single meeting with the quarterback. He coaches the quarterback, he installs the game plan, he calls the plays. Now, I had that luxury with John Gruden, Bill, in Oakland. I think it's so important that the quarterback and play caller be joined at the hip, be on the same page, and you can see that with Chan Gailey and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Chad Henne, you saw him on the sideline, hoping he gets another chance. 2nd and 7 for Buffalo. Incomplete. And Fred Jackson rarely drops a ball, but he dropped that one.
You're right, Bill. He's a sure-handed receiver out of the backfield. And again, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the ball is coming out quick, and he's been very good with his location today. Fred's got to find a way to haul that one in.
Jackson, such a valuable weapon. He has led the NFL in total yards with over 2,500. That was a year ago. So a big third down now, 3rd and 7 for Buffalo. Inside of 5 minutes remaining. Fitzpatrick, incomplete, over the head of Naaman Roosevelt. And the Bills will have to punt.
Well, again, Ryan trying to stick one. He's trying to fool the secondary and stick one in to too deep coverage. An aggressive shot, but Miami's ready for it this time.
Dolphins will get a chance. 4:40 left to play. Mormon on to punt. On the punt, Devon Best is the deep man, standing back at his own 16-yard line. Turn on, end over end. Angled it toward the sidelines and out of bounds. Now they'll spot it at the 20-yard line. 4:31 left to play, a 38-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL. And by Subway. Get ready for meltastic flavor with Subway Melt, like the new Chipotle chicken and cheese fresh toasted on flatbread.
We're back in South Florida, and maybe a drive to keep the season alive for the Miami Dolphins. They have to go 80 yards, but they're only down by 3. Empty backfield. Henny from the shotgun. Again, the check down to Bess. On the previous drive for the score, he was 8 of 8 for 79 yards.
Go right to the no huddle.
Bring in some different personnel. 2nd and 6 for Miami. Number 23, Henny, incomplete, over the head of Devon Bess. Bit of a miscommunication. Let's take a look at that last drive, Rich.
Well, it took him a while to get going, but he was perfect in the last drive. As you mentioned, Bill, 8 of 8 for 79 yards. The ball was coming out. He was making good, quick decisions. And, of course, finding that guy never hurts.
So 3rd and 6. And that incomplete pass snapped a streak of 9 straight completions for Henny. From the 23. Here come the Bills on the blitz. Henny. Caught. Marshall. And that's what he was so effective doing in Denver, yards after the catch. This may be the Brandon Marshall that the Dolphins have been waiting for all season.
Really nice job by the backs. Both backs on the blitz pickup. They give Chad Henne enough time to set his feet and make a good throw to Brandon Marshall, but an excellent job with pass protection.
Henne able to thread it in there. A first down for Miami from their own 37-yard line. Clock continuing to run inside of 3.5 minutes remaining. Henne to the sideline. Again, it's Marshall. Another catch.
Boy, Brandon Marshall has been a beast in this game. And he talked about how important it was in the open, Bill, about getting the ball to Brandon Marshall, regardless of what the defense was doing in terms of coverage. And Drayton Florence is just playing too soft. Can't allow Brandon Marshall a free release off the line of scrimmage.
Spotted about a yard short of a first down. So 2nd and 1. Roddy Brown trying to get to the edge and out of bounds into Buffalo territory. Dante Whitner pushed him out. Another first down for the Dolphins.
Well, look at that big left guard, Richie Incognito. He comes around, and that makes it a little bit easier for a back like Ronnie Brown.
Spotted just inside the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. 2:40 left to play. Light the motion man, play action. Henny, and that's caught by Fasano. Another first down, out of bounds at the 31.
Well, they do a nice job. It's just a two-man route. You're going to see the tight end's going to run the corner, and the outside receiver's going to run the post, but it's all sold by the play action. Fasano, he gets out on the linebacker there. Moats, he's got his hands full, but play action gets it done.
That was good for 16 yards, and Chad Henne has come alive here in the latter stages of this game. Carpenter with the strong leg, but he's missed 2 long field goal tries today. From the 31. Henne, incomplete. Trying to hit Ricky Williams. Dan Carpenter missing today from 48, 61, and 53 yards out.
He's had some games, Bill, where he's had 2 games back-to-back this year where he kicked 5 field goals in each game. He's been pretty steady, as you mentioned. And
2 weeks ago, he kicked the 5th longest field goal in NFL history from 60 yards out against Cleveland. The Wildcat now for Miami. Ronnie Brown gonna run it. Bottled up and stopped at the 30 by Paul Posluszny.
well, they haven't quite had the production that they've had in years past in the Wildcat. I think more teams are spending a lot of time actually preparing for it. We talked to Paul Posluszny about it last night. Extra period at practice, extra film study this week to make sure that they had answers defensively for the Wildcat.
And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 17-14 Bills. 2 minutes remaining and a big 3rd down upcoming for the Dolphins. They started 1 of 8 in 3rd down conversions, but have made their last 3. From Buffalo's 30-yard line. Here they come on the blitz. Henne. Lots of time, incomplete. Devon Best, the intended receiver. Drayton Florence had very good coverage. So we'll see Dan Carpenter.
Really nice job by that Buffalo defense. They bring pressure, and of course they do a nice job holding up on the back end. A guy that has struggled a little bit today, Drayton Florence, makes a great play on the ball.
So here comes Carpenter, 0 for 3, but none of them were chip shots. 48, 61, and 53 yards. This one from 48 yards out to tie it up. No. Wide right. Carpenter 0 for 4.
That's really amazing, Bill. This guy's been pretty steady, and today, unfortunately for him, he's been consistently inconsistent. He missed right, he missed short, he missed left, and then here, another miss right.
Well, he's been a very good pressure kicker for the Dolphins. He had his 4th game-winning kick of his career earlier this season to beat Green Bay from 44 yards out. But he misses there, and 0 for 4 on the day. Dolphins with just 2 timeouts remaining. 1:48 left to play. Jackson. Back to the line of scrimmage. Paul Soliai made the stop. A little pushing and shoving. Timeout on the field. Called by the Dolphins. 1:44 left. A late surge by the Dolphins. Made this one close. But 4 missed field goals by Carpenter, and that's been the difference for Miami. Well, coming next, Mark Sanchez and the Jets try to bounce back against Big Ben and the AFC North leading Steelers, or the Broncos battle the Raiders. Check your local listings for the game in your area. This season, more people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. It's a lonely spot for a field goal kicker. Tough day for Dan Carpenter. 2nd and 11 for Buffalo. Jackson again, wrapped up once again by Soliai. Soliai in his 4th year out of Utah, 4th round draft pick in 2007. Let's take a look at Dan Carpenter's day, one he'd like to forget.
You mentioned he missed the one right. This one was really almost impossible. Really a very long shot there before the half, and of course he was short. This one, I thought he drove it. Plenty of light, just misses it left. This one you have to make. Kickers, you either love them or you hate them. That's the nature of this business.
Dolphins all out of timeouts now. Remember, they burned one late in their touchdown drive. 1:39 left to play.
Go back to that timeout, Bill, that we talked about. Chad Henne called after that completion to Patrick Cobbs, where they couldn't decide what they were going to do on 3rd and 2. They'd love to have that one right here.
Patrick getting everybody set. Jackson trying to stay on his feet. A few more seconds, tick off the clock. Falls forward to the 40-yard line, but the Dolphins will get another chance. Buffalo will have to punt.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision there. You got a 3rd and long. I think you run the football, take the time off the clock, punt the ball. You have a very good punter in Brian Moorman. And play the odds. This is an offense that has struggled today, Miami, and your defense has played well. Miami will have no timeouts left and have to go probably 80 yards.
Take as much time off the clock as possible. 1 second left. Gailey takes the timeout. Now we'll see the punting unit on 4th and 8. Dolphins came in today knowing exactly what they had to do. Chad Henne has had 4 game-winning drives, and this one will be to keep the season alive for Miami. Trying to get his teammates fired up on the sideline.
Well, you're going to need some big chunks of yards if you're Chad Henne. You have no timeouts. You're going to have to be able to use the boundary. Any big completion down the field, you're going to have to hustle the offensive line and the rest of the crew down the field and clock it. Incompletions will not hurt you.
Javon Best standing back at his own 16-yard line. He can be dangerous. All out, attempt to block it, and he gets it away. And this is a great punt. And that will bound into the end zone for a touchback. A 60-yard punt from Moorman. 41 seconds remaining.
Well, you need a big punt. Brian Moorman delivers. The block was on. Now he's trying to get it to spin. My wedge.
See that in golf a lot. You don't often see that in football.
Well, they're going to need some big plays down the field.
So no timeouts remaining for Miami. Henne. The best. That's not the kind of big play I was talking about. Not in the middle of the field. They can't stop the clock.
Well, the guy you got to be looking for is right there, Brandon Marshall. He's a big receiver. You got to give him a chance to make a play.
He continues to run. Checks it down to Ricky Williams, and he doesn't get out of bounds.
That's on Ricky Williams. Ricky's got to get out of bounds in that situation.
Now this is an ugly ending. Finally stops the clock with 5 seconds left.
Well, this is it. This is their last play. And the problem is they can't even get lined up. You have players walking back to the huddle. You're better off in this situation just throwing it away. That doesn't help you. These 3 and 4 yard gains don't help you at all. Throw the ball away. Now the dilemma they have is that Chad Henne can't throw the ball 72 yards.
Five seconds left. And now they're just trying to do anything to keep it going. And that is how the game and the Dolphins' hope for the postseason will end. 17-14 Buffalo. Coming up next, game 2 of the NFL on CBS doubleheader. The Jets visit the Steelers, or the Broncos take on the Raiders. So for Rich Gannon, this is Bill McAtee saying so long from Miami. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, it's the Burger King Update. We'll take you to New York for all the scores and highlights right after this.